Welcome, guys, the BC Eagles, the national champions, the Texas two-step, as some call you guys. A week out, I've gotten a lot of. So I posted that I was gonna interview you guys, and I got a lot of questions, and a ton of them were about the Bender and the celebration. But this is a kid show, so we're gonna refrain from those, and we're just gonna move right on to the lacrosse. Well, so first I got a lot of like messages that were just like congratulations, like people just wanted to have me let you guys know like congrats and like that you guys are doing great things for the sport. So I just would be remiss if I didn't mention that right off the bat. Everybody's very excited for you guys. So we're gonna start Texas. Two of the most like impactful players on the national championship team from a non-hotbed. That's probably like one of the first times that that's happened. I'm sure you guys are sick of answering this question, but Rachel, you first. Like just being from Texas, what does it mean for you to like be able to represent Texas and like all the young like girls lacrosse players there? And do you think this is something that we'll see more of like going forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I take pretty seriously because I was once that kid in Texas that had to look up to people and didn't have many people to look up to from Texas. And I think that people before me who did play at the D1 level did a good job kind of motivating me. And if I can do that for little kids from Texas, it's something that like I've always wanted to do. So
Yeah, for sure. And Charlotte, what about you?
Same thing. I mean, during the national championship, I think we looked up a couple times and saw the Texas flag hanging in stands over.
Yeah, I saw that. That was sick. That was sick.
And, it just like puts it all into perspective really quickly when we see that because it's so cool. We looked up to, like Rachel said, we looked up to a few people who did make it to this level, and we still don't even think it's real right now. A few days later, because we were those kids, and we never even thought playing at the Division I level would be possible, let alone getting to the tournament or getting to the Final Four, and never ever could have imagined winning a national championship. So we're still in shock for sure, but being from Texas just makes us super proud, and I think you can count on seeing more of it because every time we go home, talent level raises immensely, and I think the coaches are working so hard there, and the little girls that are practicing around the clock, they're ready to come to this level.
Yeah, 100%. So you guys get to college. Rachel, you're at Oregon. Charlie, you're at Duke. And then you guys both transferred together in the same year, if I'm not mistaken, to BC. So were there conversations between the two of you about like, let's head to BC and like try to bring this program to another title like game, or did you guys not know, or like what was that like? Because you're both from Texas, but like did you know each other? Like what happened there?
I think we knew of each other. We played together a few times, and there was like a phone call or two that was like, "Hey, where are you looking?" And then I was like, "BC." So it was like, "Oh, wait, me too." And then I decided to come to BC, and then when Charlotte decided to come to BC, it was just like meant to be. It was awesome.
Yeah, when I heard she was in the portal, I got so excited, and not just because I didn't know where she was looking. I just got so excited because I was rooting for her, watched her at Oregon, and Texas Lax fan was pretty close. So then I decided to enter the portal as well, and it was almost like fate because when we both decided on our own terms that we were coming to BC, like it was pretty special. And then we got to be roommates, and now here we are. I mean, it's so surreal.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry. So yeah, so then last year, 2020, first couple games, I actually got to watch you guys play in person at USC. Super exciting. And then I feel like people weren't like paying attention yet almost. Like people knew that you guys were both like really good and that like you guys had a good roster and stuff, but like I feel like there wasn't as much like, oh, BC's for real. And like Rachel, you posted the preseason rankings this year on your story where BC got no love at all. So I mean, it's all about like the all about us mentality, and I know you guys like embody that. But like this fall, coming out of the pandemic, like you guys obviously believed in yourselves and like you knew that you could get to this point. It's very evident, but like nobody else really did. So was that like motivation for you guys to be like, look, like we start the season number 17 or whatever, like, and we want to end number 1? Like, what were those conversations?
I think definitely. I think everybody on the team felt a little disrespected by that preseason ranking, but it motivated everybody. And from the first practice that we played in, we knew that we wanted to make it to Final Four weekend and play in Towson. So I mean, at the end of the day, a ranking doesn't define you at all. It's about how you play. So we really just focused on us and did whatever it took to get us to the Final Four and then to win the national championship.
Yeah, I think, the coaches do such a good job of keeping us focused on our goals, all fall, all spring when we were making sacrifices for, COVID reasons or whatever it may be. They've really kept us focused on what was in the back of our heads and getting to Final Four weekend and winning the national championship. And, that didn't change, when we got to come back together this fall, we were so excited. And we were so happy, but we also knew we had to get to work. And we pushed each other really, really hard. Our coaches pushed us. And I think that's a huge reason why we did come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches is a really good point too. Like you guys have such a loaded coaching staff. Like there were moments like when I was sitting right behind the BC bench during both games actually, because the first game Claire made me sit behind you guys. And I was sitting behind you guys and just watching like those conversations, and I was like, wow, I was saying to like my friend Sarah and like Claire, we were like, this is just like wild. Like the coaching staff is just absurd. So talk a little bit about that. Like you got Acacia, like Kayla, Sam, like, and for Sam who like got to that game a couple times and fell short, like how great was it with this coaching staff to be able to win one?
Oh my God, looking over at our sideline, even hearing you say their names, like listing off our coaches, it's never seemed real because it's truly the best coaching staff in the country. I mean, we said it before, and I think, it's unmatched how hard they work, how much they care about us, how smart they are, and just, what they built here at BC. And seeing Sam hold that trophy, was such a special moment because the reason that we were able to get to the Final Four was because of her and the players that came before. Because they brought BC to where it was, and they have built something so special that we're lucky to be a part of. But it's just so special to see her win a national championship because she's one of the best to ever do it. She's such a great player. She's such a great coach. And same with Kayla and Acacia and Billy and Jen. They're so special. And it's a credit to them because they've worked so hard for this and they deserve it. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
On my team, I said they're the best coaching staff in the country.
Yeah.
I think they're the best coaching staff ever. So I just have so much respect for them and everything that they do for us. They're the greatest people, they're the greatest coaches, and like we're just obsessed with them, and our whole team is. So they're the best.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I think it's also very, very like evident that that's true because, like I said, like last year going into this year, the rankings and stuff, and then like the ACC is just absolutely brutal to play in. You're playing the best players in the country every single weekend, like nonstop. And the first time you guys played UNC was you guys played well, but you still lost like by a lot. And that kind of shows now, like you play them, you lose by a lot in like whatever February, but like, those coaches like in that locker room, like you guys were just like, we don't care. Cause it's like, this is a part of like, you don't want to be playing your best lacrosse in February. So that kind of leads. So then you lose to them 21-9 in February, and then you beat them on Memorial Day weekend in Towson, like in front of all the fans. So that kind of leads me into my next question. A lot of people were asking, like, what was the mentality going into UNC? Like the one way that somebody put it was like, were you like nervous or like, let's go? Like what was it? What was like game day vibes like in that locker room? Like when you're about to play UNC, like were you guys just like, let's go do it? Like.
I think we were just so fired up because we knew, our coaches, again, they do such a good job of allowing us to get better every week. So we truly believed, the week leading up to our quarterfinal game against Notre Dame, we had such a good week of practice, and the week leading up to the Final Four, we had another really hard week of practice. And we truly believed and we saw, when we put in that work and we push each other as the season goes on and we're getting just a little bit better every day, we're going to put our best lacrosse together in May. And so we were ready, we were excited to get another chance at them because we knew that we didn't play our best when we did play them early in the season. So we were just fired up. We were so excited to be at the Final Four. And, we believed in ourselves. We focused on each other and our coaches, they relayed the message of it's not always, the best team, but it's the team that plays the best on game day for 60 minutes. And we believed in each other in that locker room right before the game and it showed on the field.
Yeah. Rachel, you got anything?
I I mean, I think we went into the game, we were definitely confident in our game plan, and we always fall back on the game plan. But I mean, even just looking into our teammates' eyes and our coach's eyes, like Acacia before the game, I'll like never forget her pregame speech. It was like she said, "We're going to win," and it was with so much conviction that like nobody doubted it. And we went out there, and I think a big part of it is our team. We are very, very, very close. We're every single person. We're each other's best friends. And I think like a big part of it was just we wanted 2 more days together. So
Yeah.
we went into that game being like, if we win this, we get to keep.
Yeah, 100%. And that's like kind of cool that it was like you guys played UNC and then Cuse, because it was like two teams that you had played before like multiple times, teams you were very familiar with, and like people who watch the games and like watch ACC lacrosse like could see those individual matchups like from prior in the season, which was cool. So you beat the #1 team on Friday. And then how did you guys like stay focused enough to like get in like back on Sunday? Because like 2 days is actually a really quick turnaround. And that's like not something I think that people think about, especially when you just knocked off like the best team, and like it's obviously very exciting, and like it was a very huge day for like the program, but then you got to turn around and just win it on Sunday. So like what like did you guys talk about it in the hotel or like anything like that? Like what was kind of the mindset there?
I think our coaches, they're so experienced and they have so much, to teach us. And we've played a lot of double headers this year because of COVID. And we were prepared and lucky to be in that situation where we had a day of recovery to prepare for Syracuse. But I think from years past, the coaches were so adamant on getting ready and getting focused and getting our bodies ready, our minds ready. Right after that win, we celebrated. We were so happy, but we quickly realized that we got to shift our focus. We have a big task ahead of us, and it's going to take everything that we have to scout the Syracuse team and figure out what's going to work against them on Sunday. So credit to the coaches because they got us prepared in every way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they gave us time to celebrate. Like I remember the dinner after that game, like the vibes were incredible. There was music playing, everybody was so happy. And then Acacia just like stood up and was like, before you guys go to bed, like get a pen out and write 40 hours, because that's how much time you have until that Cuse game, and you have to do every single thing right in those 40 hours to be able to get the result that we want on Sunday. So like it was like an incredible celebration after, but then she did such a great job of refocusing us and getting us like on to the next, like Bill Belichick, next game up.
Yeah. All right, Rachel. Yeah. That's really dope. And like, I feel like the way that Acacia talks about you guys, like I listened to an interview that she did, and like the way that you guys all like post about her on social media, it sounds like you guys have like a really awesome relationship with her, which is really cool. So the last part is, like kind of an individual question for both of you. So I've had like so many people DM me, and like, I'm sure you guys are aware of like the impact that you're having, and like, literally like college lacrosse girls like that are our age like look up to you guys, like it's absurd. And like PLL players are like, I'm such a big fan of them, like it's absurd like the impact you guys have and like what you're doing for the game. So Rachel, for you first, going into Memorial Day weekend, you're playing two like fantastic goalies. You got Taylor Marino and Asa Goldstock, and like you guys all stood on your head, and like especially you, it was absurd. Like in that second half against UNC, like you were just stopping every single shot that came at you. So what do you think like about just like the goalie position and like being able to show up like that, like on national TV when you guys finally were on national TV, just showing up like that, like, and like being kind of like a role model for like young goalies?
Yeah, I mean that was super cool for me because Taylor and Asa were two goalies that I looked up to throughout the recruiting process. Like they were two really highly rated recruits, and I always kind of like followed them in their careers. But I think just like the coolest part about goalie and about playing in that Final Four situation, it was like once I got to that game, like I was like, if I'm not prepared by now, then I'm gonna go out on that field and I'm not gonna be ready. So like Billy Bitter, I give him a ton of credit. We worked a lot with extra shooting, like all of it. So like we would do extra reps all the time. And then like once I got into that game, I was like, I can't even be nervous because I'm so prepared and equipped with everything that I need that like going into the game, like there was just no nerves. It was like just play.
Yeah, Absolutely, 100%, and you could definitely see that. You were very locked in. Like Claire Domchik was trying to scream your name, and I think a couple of times you did hear her, but you just were like so locked in. And Claire was like, "Yeah, she's locked in." And I was like, because it was like with my challenge, I was like, "I'm gonna get her to hear us," but no, you were just like completely zoned. Charlotte, for you, so to Waraton favorite, I mean, you're probably gonna win it. That's like an open secret at this point, but very inspiring. Like you play different from everybody else. Like you have a different style, obviously. Like the fist pump and stick slide is like the most iconic thing I've ever seen in my life. So many people are paying attention. So many people, like as you saw, like your Instagram followers after the championship, absurd. Like the way it rose. Like everybody's just like, it's like Charlotte North fever out there. You play very differently than like traditional girls. Like obviously there have been like girls that have done that before and like been able to shoot like from far out, but not like you, and not like an 8 meter being automatic. And like you saw like the goalies that you played this weekend literally had to change the way they played the goalie position just to be able to try to like stop your shots. So are you aware that like are you aware of like the impact you're having, and like how do you think about that? Like how do you think about, you're going out to win games, but also like that there are so many eyeballs and like these kids all really look up to you and like the way that you play?
I think it's humbling, and like we said earlier when we talked about where we come from, I think it's just an honor to represent Texas in that way. And we were once those people, and I still feel like that girl who looks up to Kayla and Sam every day. Like sitting with them and seeing them on the sidelines, like learning from them every day. It's like truly a dream come true. So I still feel so inspired by so many players that came before and are the greatest of all time. So I hope that I can do that for some people back in Texas. But I think it's a credit to our team. I don't think that we have a team full of such incredible athletes and lacrosse players, and people like Kara Irving and Jen Medjid, Rachel and our defense, and Holly Schleicher and Belle Smith. Like the list goes on and on. We have our team is full of what I would consider first team All-Americans, because we don't win a championship without all 11 of us on the field like playing our best. And so any way I can help our team win that championship, I'm proud to do. But I could not do any of this without them, because they make my job easy, and I have so much fun playing with them. So every time we take the field, I don't take it for granted, because we're such a special group, and I think that's why we won this year, was because we played so well together. We had great chemistry, and I think that's what showed most on the field.
Yeah, 100%. Was there a moment like on Sunday where you guys were like, we did it, like it's over? Like was there like 5 minutes, 4 minutes left, like where you were like, it's like this is a thing? Or were you just like so zoned in?
I think we tried to keep each other as locked in as possible until the buzzer went off, because they're such a good team. Syracuse is so well coached. Gary could have come up with a million things that they could score in seconds. The transition game, it's part of their strengths. So we knew that they could score in seconds, but with like about a minute left, started to smile and started to feel like it was actually going to happen. But like I said, it still doesn't feel real. So even though the buzzer sounded, and we're national champions, it still does not, it hasn't sunk in.
Yeah, that's so wild. How was the Governors? Was that like fun? That must be crazy. Yeah, that's so wild. Well, guys, thank you for doing this. Very proud of you both. Very happy for you both. Very happy for the BC Eagles. I ordered my crew neck, and I will be representing all off season. Do you guys have anything you wanna say before we wrap this up?
America's team.
What is it? Yeah, America's team. Oh, 100%. I told Rachel, I told you that you guys have always been one of America's teams. I told you that.
No.
I literally told you that. It was Jacksonville, UNC, BC, and like ASU every now and then because of Emily Monroe. That was it.
Emily Monroe, the best.
Yeah, America's team. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thank you, Katie.